Now what I'd like to introduce is Dr. Hank Seitz, the Positive Thought Doctor. It's all in your mindset. He is head of Guaranteed Measurable Results Incorporated. Doctor, are you there?
I am. Hello, Les. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, it's my pleasure. Why don't we first start out with you telling the audience a little bit about your background and how they can reach out to you?
Absolutely. I'd love to. I'll start with my education is I'm my undergraduate in business from the University of Wisconsin, so that's maybe where a little of the accent comes from. And then my master's degree in human behavior, and I have my PhD in mental science. But I was able to start my business career with Procter & Gamble, and I was on the fast track with them for 15 years. We ended up being the general manager of about $1 billion business in the Southeast United States, and I discovered a process that could actually help guarantee measurable results, help businesses grow and profit, and individuals grow and profit. And so I tested it at Procter & Gamble when I was at Procter & Gamble, and it was so effective, it increased our sales by 21%, decreased our cost by 34%. So I left Procter & Gamble, despite most everybody in my family and the in-laws saying I shouldn't leave all that security, and started my own business. And I have been just very blessed with a lot of wonderful clients, IBM, Chase. I served as an advisor to the board of John Deere. So I've worked with all kinds of businesses, from small businesses, entrepreneurs, one-man show, to very large corporations, and I have a process that can help people and businesses grow. Yeah, most of the time I'm hearing that there is not enough. It's either not enough clients, not enough referrals, not enough business, not enough profit, not enough sales. And I know this, and this I've proven over. I've worked with thousands of organizations, people, and I know this, that whatever we focus our attention on, we're going to get more of. So if I'm thinking about not enough, I'm going to get more that's not enough. And so we need to change our thinking to be able to start attracting into our lives that which we do want, because there is actually plenty of everything. It's just our thinking has become distorted, if you will, and we tighten up and we think it's going to be tough and rough. We got to work hard, and all those things. We can give up the struggle with my time-proven success formula that will help the individual give up the struggle in their own lives and help their business give up that struggle and start to thrive. So I think it'll be helpful to your listeners to understand that we as these vibrational beings, if you will, that we have it's 4 different what I call zones. And 3 are red zones that aren't very good, and 1 is the green zone. And this is where I actually help people, train people to change the way they think and to start thinking in the green zone. And let me share with you the 3 different red zones, and hopefully we can all relate to thinking in those zones and experiencing them from our thoughts. Our thoughts create. And so where our life is, we have to take responsibility that we actually created it all, either by our intentional thinking or by our non-deliberate thinking. We get life kind of by default, if you will. But the first red zone, the first area, is where I'm thinking about what I want, but I do that in a way that is very non-deliberate, non-intentional. And so it's kind of like I just wake up in the morning and I just start doing things. And that most people teach, you got to do, you got to act, etc. That you really need to think. 99% of all the things that we create is with our thought, and just 1% is as far as what we need to do. And so in this first red zone, when I'm thinking about what I want, but I don't do it deliberately, basically I'm just reacting to life. And can you relate to that, Les? Where
yeah.
we just we maybe have a little bit of a plan for the day, and then all of a sudden life just it seems like life happens to us, and the fact is that actually life happens from us. And when we start realizing that we can start really changing our lives, changing our business. So that first zone there, where you think about what you want, but not deliberately, that it's kind of like jumping out of an airplane, and that most every day, most of us are jumping out of the airplane, and then we remember we forgot our parachute.
Good analogy.
And so what we want to do is be in that airplane and remember our parachute and be thinking about what we do want. That's the first zone. And kind of a fun zone, but not so fun once in a while to live it. Another area that we think in, the second red zone that we think in, is when we think about what we don't want. And actually, we spend more time, and I say spend, we don't invest time there. We spend time, we waste time, more time, thinking about what we don't want. And things like I wake up and I think, boy, oh boy, I hope that guy, isn't bad, or I hope this closing doesn't goof up, or I hope the traffic isn't bad. Well, when you're thinking, again, whatever I focus my attention on, I'm going to make larger in my life. And so the universe, God, if you will, your source of this energy that we have, that we can mold with our thoughts, that when we start thinking about anything that we don't want, even though we say the word don't, we're still feeling bad about the thought, like, oh, I hope there isn't any traffic. And that traffic is a bad, low vibration, and that vibrates out, and that's what we create is a traffic jam. And so this second red zone is where I'm thinking about what I don't want, but I'm not even being deliberate about it, and that is where we do busy work. And so an example of that would be, we get into work and we say, well, I have a lot of different choices here. I could call a prospect that really, maybe a challenging prospect, but offers a lot of opportunity. Or I could call a old client who's I'm best friends with, not going to get any more work out of, or business out of, but I'm just going to call them. And we end up calling, instead of the big opportunity, we end up taking kind of the easy road. And what I call this is busy work. We find ourselves doing busy work once in a while. And have you found yourself in that, Les, where you sometimes...
Oh, I hate to admit it, far too often. The key is, and I think if I was a word that comes to mind about what you're saying, is focus.
Yeah.
And that is the ability to say, okay, I got up this morning, here's what I want to achieve. I have to stay focused on it. I can't be... It's what I call the roadmap to success. I can't let the detours block me from my destination.
I love that. You bet, Les. Yeah, it's about focus. It's about that roadmap. I like even calling it pre-paving. It's like I'm pre-paving the road that I want. How do I want it to be? And we truly are the masters of our own experience in our own life. And for us to understand how I want it to be.